Strawberries are scientifically classified in the same family as roses.
Does that mean when Shakespeare wrote that a rose by any other name would smell as sweet? Probably not.
This versatile fruit is grown in every U.S. state and Canadian province. California is the strawberry capital of the U.S., with Florida a very, very, very distant second.
I'm Keith Silva, this is Across the Fence, and today we're in South Newbury to learn about how to grow strawberries in Vermont.
Located next to the Connecticut River, Four Corners Farm is renowned for their strawberries, as well as a diversity of other small fruits and vegetables. The farm was established by Bob and Kim Gray. Their son Charlie, who we'll meet in a minute, now leads the operation. The farm's diversification goes beyond produce to include Scottish Highland beef cattle and a herd of Jerseys. Their farm stand is a busy place where they market their products and those from nearby farms and food processors.
Charlie, you grew up here, right?
Yes, this is my hometown of South Newbury, Vermont, here in the Connecticut River Valley, the upper Connecticut River Valley of Vermont.
What did you have your family always grown strawberries?
Yes, so we started growing, my grandpa started growing strawberries in Putney, Vermont, long before I can even remember. And then 47 years ago, my parents started, after both having successful skiing careers, they started growing strawberries on a 5-acre parcel at Heartland Four Corners.
Okay.
And that's where we sort of began, and that's where the name of the farm that we're at today, Four Corners Farm, comes from, is the Four Corners, Heartland Four Corners.
Okay. How many acres do you have now?
So we started off with 5 acres. Since then, we've moved up to about 10, but we fluctuate between 7 and 10 acres of strawberries, given the year and given what you plant and what we take out.
So you guys are one of the premier strawberry growing farms in Vermont. Why do you like growing this crop so much?
It's one of the crops that it takes a long time via like a lettuce that you're picking, you're planting it as seed, and 60 days later you're picking a head, or a radish that's also a 21-day, a short day. Strawberries is something that the original way to grow them is you would plant them in the spring, and then in the planting year, which is their first year, it's called the establishment year.
Okay.
You would tender them, pick the flowers off, put everything into just growing that plant, and then that following spring, you would then pick your first harvest. But in that year of droughts and excessive rain and high humidity, high heat,
right.
And then in the spring your first flowering crop will come, and you'll have to worry about frost because the blossom can only take it down to 30 degrees.
Okay.
But that's like 30 degrees you should already have water on to keep them from freezing, or keep the blossom from getting frosted.
This is very complicated.
Yes,
it's not just putting a plant in the ground.
No, it's way more than just that. So all of those risks and gambles, and maybe it's my little bit of gambling personality, it's nice to know that you can have something that when it does produce, like this year, due to our really warm fall last year, it will give you a bountiful crop. And it's also a sweet and delicious fruit to eat and enjoy with your family.
So what varieties do you grow?
So our after years of research and understanding what varieties it takes to grow, and especially in our soil, we chose Honey Eye because of the taste and the flavor. It's a little tartar, but it has more of that, I guess you call it the strawberry essence in the variety.
From the sweet tart taste of strawberries, Charlie brought me to an adjoining row of what look like weeds, and in a way, they are. This stand of mustard is an innovative, sustainable method of pest management.
We're looking at the mustard that gets put into the soil. This is your biofumigation method.
This will grow, 4 or 5 feet.
Okay.
So and if you break it up, you take some and just spray it.
Okay, yeah.
You can just really break it up. You can smell the.
Yep, you can smell the mustard.
So that fumigation process, you only have 20 minutes after that.
Okay.
After you've chopped this up, you have a maximum of 20 minutes to get it into the ground.
Okay.
And that's normally we'll have someone flail chopping it and someone tilling it all like right after each other.
Yep.
And then we'll roll it and we'll seed it, and it'll be about 3 weeks, and then we'll bed it up and plant plugs. Also.
And that gets rid of your...
So far, I've had good luck getting rid of nematodes and weeds, and we did it initially for weeds.
Right.
So,
but it's getting rid of weeds, but it's not killing any biologics. The things
no
that
biologicals, nothing. It doesn't hurt. It's actually a really good trap crop for insects too.
Okay.
So it's like they'll be more attracted to this than actually brassicas we have, because it's the same family as broccoli or cauliflower. So the insects will be more attracted to this.
What we're seeing here, all this mustard was where those plants
last
were.
year that was all mustard.
That was all mustard, and so it'll be that way this year.
And we'll march like this for probably the next 1, 2, maybe 3 years.
Okay.
Before we'll run out of ground here.
So that this one treatment with mustard is going to last this parcel of land the life of the strawberry.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years easily.
2 or 3 years easy. Okay, great.
We started using it a little over 10 years ago now. It took the first couple years. It's kind of a science to figure out when to cut it and when to process it and get it in the ground. But since then, I've pretty much eliminated all of my herbicides. To keep these, we only come in with 1 pre-emergence last year, and then we'll put straw on it, and that's all that these have received.
Right.
So I don't have to do any, which is most of the California berries now are all grown with fumigation, not biofumigation, chemical fumigation, which is a whole different animal, and that's what because their weed problem and disease problems are so large that they have to use that to grow the crops. And the problem with regular fumigation is once you use it, you can't go back. Because it cleans everything in the soil, once you have to then keep using it. So it's a great sales pitch by the chemical companies to keep you going, because once you use it, you can't go back. But
none of that here.
None of that here. No, that was something that we really strive to use the mustard and to keep that going. I mean, even in the last 10 years, the biological spray market has just bloomed with new products coming out. So I've cut back on my fungicides now by 50% because I'm able to fill that void with biologicals that are coming out. Yeah, so this is exciting. This is always, we still got a long ways to go, but.
Fern Grubinger is the vegetable and berry specialist with UVM Extension.
Because when ice forms, it gives off
in that role, he's worked with farmers in the Northeast for 35 years. He's a leader in Vermont agriculture and someone I'm honored to call a friend.
Our vegetable and berry farms are really important because they're the most reliable source of local food that we have. Everything else has to get shipped in, so you can count on having production from your neighbors, and plus they give so much back to the community. I mean, it's incredible, not just the economic multiplier effect of hiring people and buying supplies, but our farmers are volunteers on all kinds of committees. They're hosting all kinds of events and kids visiting from school, so there's really just a whole bunch of social capital that's hard to even quantify. Vermont is known for dairy, and for good reason. We've got a lot of cows and a lot of land in dairy. The number of dairy farms has been declining, even though cow numbers stay up there and milk production stays up. Vegetables fit a really important niche. Sometimes the smaller size farms are really well suited to horticulture production. Not enough good land to grow the crops you would need to raise a dairy herd, but you can certainly do strawberries. And with high tunnels, we have a lot of farms just on a few acres, knocking out quite a bit of product and value, so that's important. Horticulture is a little easier to get into than livestock-based enterprises. The upfront investment can be less. You can buy a low-cost greenhouse called a high tunnel to help extend the seasons, and you don't need a lot of land necessarily. And you can go to a farmer's market with horticultural products. That's a little trickier when it comes to animal-based products. So yeah, we do see a lot of people starting small and growing. And for a lot of people, staying small makes sense, right? You're in a small community. There's not a huge market. You might have a off-farm job, or you might have a winter job, and you don't want to become a big farm. So I'm a big fan of small farms that fit the size of their community, and also the larger farms that can grow a lot of food and can provide product to stores as well.
Like many Vermont farms, Four Corners Farm has a residence that calls to the community. In return, the Gray family pays it forward by sharing their bounty with those in need. Willing Hands, based in Norwich, Vermont, recovers fresh food from farms, grocery stores, restaurants, and wholesalers and delivers it year-round for free to approximately 80 social service organizations on both sides of the Connecticut River.
People will come in and harvest and take this food back and give it to others that might not have access to fresh food otherwise.
That seems like a very innovative approach to farming. Is that one of the things that you enjoy working with farmers like the Grays? Innovation?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the generosity for sure, not just of product, but of information sharing. So we have an incredible network in the Vermont Vegetable and Berry Growers Association, listserv, newsletter, workshops where people are always sharing new ideas. And, you know, every day there's a new idea. You heard about it on this farm using mustard for biofumigation to control weeds. You see new kinds of cultivation for strawberries, plasticulture, day neutrals, plugs. People are growing things in high tunnels and greenhouses of all types. So it's just really interesting to see that it never stays the same.
Never stays the same. So you worked with Charlie's parents, Bob and Kim, prior to working with Charlie.
Yes, I did. Knew Bob and Kim for many years, and then it was great to see Charlie come back from the farm. And even though it's a real challenge, this farm transition issue, it's one of the most difficult things in agriculture, and I think one of the biggest challenges we face. But it's really exciting to see so many farms doing that successfully. Some are within the family. We're also seeing farms getting taken over by either beginning farmers or farmers that, you know, needed a bigger farm, sold their smaller farm somewhere else and moved here. So we've had quite a few successful transitions in the past few years, and so it gives me a lot of hope about the future of the industry.
My thanks to Fern Grubinger, Charlie Gray, Four Corners Farm, and the Across the Fence Roadshow team, Ben and Ellie. I'm Keith Silva. This is Across the Fence. Thank you for being part of our family.